Hi, everyone. It's Jeff Cohen, and welcome back to the Business Opportunity Live production. Today, we have a really special guest for you, along with our regulars Stan Gelfer and Shana Caseby. We have Alan Tratner. Alan is the CEO and founder of Green to Gold, which is the longest-standing business incubator in the world. He helped to found Earth Day. He's extremely well connected in our community, with government officials. He knows the state of what's going on in entrepreneurialism and also what's happening with investors. And we're going to jump to Alan in just a minute, but I want to spend just a minute with everybody, and I want to remind you all that this is an opportunity right now to be focusing on getting your applications in for government assistance. As many of you know that have been watching, I've been diligent to make sure I know what's going on. The I know what's going on changes minute by minute, but here's what I know today. What I know today is that there are some rumors going around that the money's been used up, and that's not true. I also know that Wells Fargo Bank has been limited on being able to take applications for some of these loans. Don't let that stop you. There are a lot of organizations out there that can help you, whether it's your bank or the small business development centers or your credit union or one of the other funds that does loans. They can help you. But even before you go there, because that's for the Payroll Protection Program, you'll want to go to the SBA.gov site, and you'll want to log on and go to fill out your application for assistance, for COVID-19 assistance. In that, there's a checkbox that you can check to say you would like a $10,000 advance. So they'll evaluate your application. You'll have a conversation or interaction with someone from the SBA. And shortly after that, you'll have a check for $10,000 show up in your account. That's before you actually get the emergency disaster loan from the SBA or the payroll protection loan. Keep in mind, what's really important about those loans is that you can apply for both, but you can only take one. That's super important. You've got to make sure that you know that and you make the choice that works best for you. They both have similar purposes. However, the Payroll Protection Program will actually allow you to write up to 75% of it off as long as that money is used for payroll. So if you keep your people on or you hire them back, that money can be used to pay them. If that money is used to pay them, it becomes a grant. If you're a business that's got one owner and one paycheck, that still is a business, and that business owner can apply and can qualify. If you're an independent contractor, a sole proprietor, you're an LLC or a C Corp, you're all able to apply, so do it. So that's my 2 cents on that topic today. If you need help, please shoot me an email. I'm happy to help. I've been acting as a concierge for a number of people to help them get through the process. And my intention for that is to ensure that everybody gets the support they need to get through this. So with that, I'd like to introduce Professor Alan Tratner. Alan, welcome.
Thank you. I'm just pleased to see the roundtable and your other staff or experts. I do want to add one point. That was mentioning about the recovery and the COVID-19 situation and other economic development, and that is going to the governor's office. They have a whole section on economic development that has many agencies involved in the state of California that can assist all kinds of enterprises, even cats or hemp industry, babysitting, you name it, they're there to help entrepreneurs and small businesses at the governor's. And I would take advantage of it. You can get a hold of someone named Poon Patel, at the Governor's Office of Economic Development, and I think you will find some astounding assistance from so many different agencies. If you read tape, there are some grants and loan programs, especially right now with this crisis, new ones that they put together. So I would recommend heavily that people
Alan?
take advantage of that as well.
Let me kind of recap what you were saying. There was a little bit of interference with your sound. I just want to make sure people got it. So there's an executive, and it's someone Patel is what I heard.
Puneet Patel, P-A-T. Yeah, Puneet Patel.
And the Governor's Office of Economic Development. But I also heard there are a lot of resources on the governor's website that we can access for the state of California. So if you're a California business, go to the governor's. And if you're not a California business, if the state of California has something on their website, what's the likelihood that in your state or your location that there's something there? I know even for the county of LA and the city of Los Angeles, they're doing things, the city of Glendale. So look for your local resources and your state resources. Alan's absolutely right. Don't overlook the opportunity to get support. And oh, by the way, if you have questions while we're talking, please type them into the comments on Facebook, and we'll be happy to get to them during our conversation here. So thank you. Alan, was there anything else about economic development you wanted to say before we move to our main topic?
Did you want me to talk a little bit about what's happening in the entrepreneurial ecosystem around the globe? Last couple of weeks, since we're global data for 50 years, trying to get a barometer for our various kinds of investment, angel, venture capital, hides of that, the debt lenders, the reduction of the SEC, Form C, equity crowdfunding, every type of investor that we have funder around, and we accomplished some research. Here are the trends. First, entrepreneurship, of course, is on the rise. In the United States alone, more than 500,000 businesses are created every month. We have always been, for some decades, the most entrepreneurial nation on the planet. Like 1 in 10 Americans starts this. In comparison, Japan, it's like 1 in 10. So we're allowed to support 90% basically of all the businesses in the United States. Most employment is from business. So the trends are up because of so many hundreds of millions of people home from work, laid off, just having to work from home, school closed. We're in a surge right now about people pursuing their dreams, their inventions, their new product ideas, their entrepreneurial dreams. They're wanting to be their boss in a small business. So, and there's also the demand we do. Incubation is on the rise. It's globally, and that's one of the tools that the average is about a 90% success rate nowadays to overcome obstacles, capital, learn how to put a venture together, intellectual property, all the things that we've been doing and we were pioneers in. And then the side of the investors or the funders, this is the trend. If you're with Wall Street and the stock market, either an individual or an institutional investor, you rise and fall, as always, with the stock markets of the world. And they're in terrible shape recently. But investing community, the funding, the venture creation community, the high net individuals, the accredited investors, this is the barometer. They are still functioning. They're open for business. They may not have like Los Angeles, Lava, and Los Angeles, their normal monthly gatherings, or their quarterly, pitches and all that they're doing this virtually. But I tell you, this is the bottom line of investing in ideas. You get all the money you want first time out. And so if you ask for X amount, you make something less than that because they're spreading the risk, trying to make it less of a risk, but they're still investing in funding, in looking for deals, and then we are pushing some of the ventures out, and they said just what the deal is just don't count on the max amount from one source. It's only going to be a capital stack matrix that you put together, some debt funding over here, some equity funding, some quasi.
Hey, Alan, I have a question. How do you get considered to be part of an incubator? What kind of businesses, what puts you in alignment to become an incubator business?
That's an interesting question. We take membership. We've been successful from day one. We're a membership organization categories, but other incubators and we're nonprofit. We're 501c3 scientific educational organizations. So we don't normally take equity. Kinds of incubators that exist in Pasadena, the Idea Lab, where they investors put money together, build an incubator, and then select thousands of business plans, those that they want to be behind and invest in. And I've watched 3,000 plans get reduced in 10, and maybe five find going because they have a big chunk of equity in you. They have a vested interest to put capital and incubate. There are university incubators, in technology transfer, but we're different in this world from the very beginning, that we're a nonprofit incubator, and we just accept membership. As long as you're not fraudulent or doing of mass destruction or medical quality, we will accept you and we'll pursue your ideas and help you. Annual membership, it's incredible programs. Jeff has been up to it. We are in Thousand Oaks, Newberry Park. We're into gold is housed with the Bendo Center, which is working on cures for COVID and other kinds of incredible breaks in medical and life sciences and chemistry. So we allow people to join us as members around the world. Other incubators, on whether they're equity or university based, you have to inquire about that.
Are these businesses like startup, or are they established businesses?
Startups are us. Coin Toys R Us. Okay, startups are us. But it's also medium and ones that have come back, have either had problems or screwed up in their markets and need help. And so we do that also. Accelerators are purely at some stage of development. We take startups, the inventor with the great idea, the small business person, and we're an anomaly in the world that we incubate nonprofits. More than 128 to date that are socially and environmentally responsible. It's a great synergism that happens in our incubator globally between nonprofits and the for-profits. The for-profits can donate to the nonprofits, and they can use those for fundraising purposes. Everybody wins. There's going on, and I try to connect those in our Green to Gold data.
Alan, so I want to just jump in real quick, and I want to kind of recap a couple of things you've said, because you've been in and out a little bit because of the internet. Is just not as good. But what I heard you say is, first off, you've done extensive research of your investor community, and in the investor community, what you found is that they're still investing, they're still interested. You may having to work with more investors today to get the amount of investment you were looking for, just because of the times that we're in. But investors are still interested, and as long as you're not a Wall Street investor, but you're more of a entrepreneurial investor, then this is a market that's actually a good market to be in, is what I heard you say. Is that accurate?
And it is growing. I will tell you, in the revolution of the Obama Jobs Act, the SEC equity funding, it has $1,070,000 cap for funding, but it's now going to next will probably go to 5 million. But I will tell you, the fastest round ever in crowdfunding out of thousands that have been successful had just happened a couple of weeks ago, where in 9 hours from the start of their campaign, they used their maximum, because they had great social media out to get the word out, to have those eyes, which there are all over the place now on the internet, everyone being home. Those eyes are looking at those opportunities.
Gotcha. Well, perfect. Hey, Alan, I want to thank you so much. This is highly valuable information. Can we have you come back and talk about that with us again?
Sure. I'll do an invoice. Just kidding.
That's perfect. Hey, listen, we have a couple of questions I'm going to put on the screen. Alan, you or I may be able to answer them. Brett comes in with, we're a new retail business, just started in 2019. We put our own money up as capital investment and are continuing to do so, but we haven't paid ourselves a penny yet. So we've had no payroll and didn't even have 1099s to ourselves in 2019. How can we qualify for the Payroll Protection Program? So guys, if you're in a situation like this is the way it is with a lot of startups today. And the Payroll Protection Program may or may not be the right program for you. But unless you apply to both the EIDL and the Payroll Protection Program, Brett, you guys aren't going to know. I recommend you apply for all of the programs that are available, because each of them is going to give you an opportunity to have a conversation about your particular situation with a lender. And when you have that conversation, you'll be able to figure out which one is going to work. I know that a lot of people want to figure out, what do I need in order to qualify? Like, I don't want to spend a lot of time on a process if I'm not going to. I don't know that that's going to work today. So I'm going to recommend that you find the time to spend on the process.
Yeah, actually applying is not hard at all. I think it's like 8 questions and they're not super, you're not digging up any numbers. It's pretty, it's kind of putting you in a queue initially. And then, when they start making their criteria known, they're going to reach out to you to gather the data that they need.
They will verify, so just count on that. They're going to want validation of something, which is why with the Payroll Protection Program, you want to go to your bank first, because they have all your financial data. They can see your deposits, your payments. Okay. They know what's going on with your business financially. Alan, is there anything that you would add to that?
Yeah. So ditto about going to the Governor's Office of Economic Development for your situation and looking at all programs that are both COVID-19 and traditional brand new pushes to help small businesses, entrepreneurs.
Excellent, thank you. So Angelique has a question. She said, I was working toward making displays for my artwork, and I couldn't hire someone to do it for me. However, this would be a new second business for me. Would the loan work? The money would cover supplies and paying people that help me. So first off, Angelique, the money from the loan is not designed to cover supplies. It's designed to cover things like your payroll, your rent, your operating expenses. There's a list of things in the application. When you look at the application, it says it will cover. Supplies may or may not be on that list. However, it's going to depend a lot on whether you're operating this business as a corporation, an LLC, or sole proprietorship, and are you paying somebody as a full-time employee or a part-time employee or a 1099. If you're paying them like they're a 1099 employee, that person is going to get to file for themselves, because that's their business. That's their business activity. So you have a primary business. You are an employee of your primary business if you own it. And for that business, you can absolutely apply. For your secondary business, you may be able to apply, and that would be a conversation I would have once you fill the application out and start getting information into the system. Okay, I hope that helped. And if you have any, I'm sorry?
That was a good question. I've heard different people asking about the breakdown. Good way to explain that more thoroughly.
And you also have to be very careful nowadays about this issue, the clampdown about employee versus independent contractors, and not cross and get a deep pucky with that.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother can of worms to open, Alan. And we'll do it on another call, I promise. But I just want to say, if anybody, Brett or Angelique, if you guys would like to have a conversation with me about it, I would be more than happy to get on the line with you. Send me an email. I'll send you a link to my website, to my calendar, and you can set some time up with me so that we can take a look. And heck, if you need like someone to be your concierge through it, I do that for people for a small fee, just to help folks out. I'm happy to do that as well for you, Angelique or Brett. So real quickly, Stan, what do you want to say today? What's there for you about the way business is going and what you can do for them on Google?
Well, hey, everybody. Good to see you. So a couple of things. Number one, your Google listing on Google search. So we just noticed this yesterday with some of our customers. Google started to automatically label businesses as temporarily closed or closed due to not being essential. I urge you, if you're open, go to your Google listing, do a search for your business, make sure it says you're open. While you're there, make sure you update your information, make sure the phone number is correct, the URL to the website is correct. If you're a restaurant, make sure your menu is up to date or it's linked. Also, if you have additional services, put them in there, delivery, pickup, things like that. Very important. Another thing is right now is a great time to start thinking about doing Google AdWords because a lot of competition is not doing it right now. So you can get their spot in Google search. I invite you to look into that and see how you can grow your business. This is an opportunity for a lot of people. In fact, a lot of our customers are getting much, much better ranking and search results because they're continuing to market with their budget, and we've seen a big difference in that. So those are things I want to talk about.
Hey, Stan, that's really great. I get it. Like if you've been doing Google advertising and you stop, suddenly they're not interested in you anymore. And whoever is continuing to do that will get their interest. And suddenly, when you come back, it's going to take an extra effort to come back.
Well, what's happening is we had a customer cut down on advertising by half. It's going to take him at least 4 to 5 months to get back to where he was, just to give you an idea.
Thank you, Stan. That's really helpful. Hey, Shana, what do you want to talk about today? What's up with in the world of social media and content writing and all of that you do?
Well, it's been really interesting. I've had a lot of my customers wanting to get the word out about their businesses and to stay in touch with their, the people that follow them, their supporters. Mine are not all in the restaurant industry, but we've really been seeing how important our email lists are, like growing that email list and having a way to connect with our audience and let them know what we're doing in order to meet this crisis and how they can support us or, the things we're doing for our community in order to, contribute to the community. It does really make a big difference. It creates some loyalty and people want to know right now. I was just before this call, my husband and I were talking about getting some takeout today, and I was just on looking, and you're so right, Stan. So many sites, even on Yelp, it doesn't have listed whether they're open, whether they're doing takeout or, delivery right now. So especially the smaller ones, you'll see a lot of the bigger chains have stepped up and they're doing that, but not the smaller ones. And, we're trying to support some of our smaller local businesses. So I hope people are hearing you and taking these measures.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Shana. And, I totally, I was just thinking, I'd love to have some Chinese takeout. And then, so last night I made my own Chinese dish for my wife and I, right? I've been doing a lot of cooking. But, it's true. Like, let's actually start, ordering out more. Let's support the local businesses and let's also have them get the support they need from us. So please don't hesitate. Reach out to those of us on this call today. If you don't know how to find us, go to the C-Level Roundtable page on Facebook, go to the website, reach out to us, and we'll make sure you get support. Hey, in closing today, I just want to ask Alan. Alan, is there anything you'd like to say to the folks that are joining us?
One thing I would like to say is encourage people that have great ideas for services, enterprises, small businesses, nonprofits, that look at all the help that's out there nowadays, not only from us at Gold and our Incubator network, but SBAs, Get Everything Relaxed, the SBDs, all kinds of economic agencies that are going to launch you forward in the economic recovery out of this crisis. Take advantage of that right now.
Perfect. Hey, thank you, Alan, so much for joining us today. Stan and Shana, I so appreciate your partnership in your in doing these with us. And just want to say, hey, I'm Jeff Cohen. I'm happy to help, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Happy Passover.